Hello and welcome to Grace Lutheran Church. My name is Kelsey and I'm the Director of Chris Ed and Youth Ministry here at Grace, and I'm excited that you've come to join us today. For our gospel reading today, we read from the book of John that Jesus flips tables in the temple and he gets mad and he gets angry, and so he flips tables so that people stop using the temple for their own needs. And then the Pharisees say, "What right do you have to do this?" And Jesus says, "Well, I'm going to destroy the temple and then I will rebuild it in 3 days." Fun fact about the temple, right? They've been trying to rebuild it for over 50 years. And so the Pharisees at this point, imagine, right, if someone comes over and tells you, "I'm going to help you with your Legos and I'm going to build it in 3 seconds." And you're like, "But I've been working on it for 3 days, right?" And they build this masterpiece. How would you feel? You'd feel stunned, right? That someone said they could do it that quickly when you've been working forever on it. Well, that's how the Pharisees felt, right? They were confused. But the disciples knew better because they had heard Jesus talk about him dying and resurrecting in 3 days' time. And they knew that when Jesus was talking about the temple, he was talking about himself and God in that. So this lesson teaches us a couple things. First of all, teaches us that emotions are okay. We can be frustrated. We can be angry. We can be sad. We can be happy. Jesus was mad. He flipped tables in the temple, for goodness sakes, right? It's okay to have those emotions. This lesson also teaches us that God's temple isn't necessarily about a building, right? It's not about the fanciest building. It's not about the most expensively built building. It's not even about just some 4 walls, right? The temple can be anywhere. For Lent this year, we're having you create your own sacred space at home while walking along the journey in Lent. That sacred space that you create can be your temple, can be your place in which you let your faith grow and form. This lesson is fun, and I think there's lots of other things we can get from it. But what I want to task you with is I want you to think about every time this week you feel an emotion, right? You feel sadness, you feel overwhelmed, you feel excited. Think about those emotions and think about how God is there with you in those emotions, right? Because our temple isn't just about the 4 walls. God is everywhere with us. And so how in your emotions is God there with you? Because God is there with you. But how can you start to see it? Talk with your parents about it at dinner time. Start a journal with it. Do what you need to do to discern your emotions and then find where God is working in the midst of that feeling. Because he is. He may be helping flip those tables, but he's working in those places.